Blockchain, the key to a decentralized future? Well, not quite. Today, we're discussing how this hyped technology may actually be facing some serious growing pains. We are unlocking the upside, and I'm Jeff Robinson, the founder of theinvestmentanalyst.com, and I'm joined by my co-host, James. And hi, everybody.
Oh, that's an interesting take. What's got you skeptical about blockchain's potential?
Well, for all the buzz around blockchain, there are some significant hurdles it needs to overcome. Energy consumption is a major issue. Did you know that Bitcoin mining alone uses as much electricity as the entire country of Denmark?
Wow, that's a staggering amount of energy. Are there efforts to make blockchain more sustainable?
There are, but progress has been slow. Some networks are exploring alternative consensus mechanisms that require less energy, but they often come with trade-offs in security or decentralization. It's a complex problem without an easy solution.
So what about the actual applications of blockchain? We hear a lot about its potential, but where is it actually being used effectively?
That's a great question. While there's been a lot of experimentation, widespread adoption has been limited. The financial sector has shown the most interest, particularly in areas like cross-border payments and asset trading. For example, Ripple's blockchain-based payment network has partnered with over 300 financial institutions to facilitate faster, cheaper international transfers.
Interesting. Are there any other industries where blockchain is gaining traction?
Supply chain management is another area with promising applications. Walmart, for instance, has implemented a blockchain-based system to track the origin of food products, which could help prevent foodborne illnesses and reduce waste. In 2018, they reported that this system reduced the time it takes to trace the source of produce from 7 days to just 2.2 seconds.
That's an impressive improvement. But what about the technical challenges? I've heard that scalability is a major issue for blockchain networks.
You're absolutely right. Scalability remains one of the biggest technical hurdles. Most public blockchains can only handle a fraction of the transactions that traditional payment systems can. Ethereum, for example, can process about 15 transactions per second compared to Visa's capability of handling 24,000 transactions per second.
Well, that's a significant difference. How are developers trying to address this issue?
There are several approaches being explored. Layer 2 solutions like the Lightning Network for Bitcoin aim to process transactions off the main chain to increase speed and reduce costs. Other projects are experimenting with new consensus mechanisms or sharding techniques to improve scalability. But these solutions often involve trade-offs in terms of security or decentralization.
It sounds like there's still a lot of work to be done. What about the regulatory landscape? That must be another major challenge, right?
Absolutely. The regulatory environment for blockchain and cryptocurrencies is still evolving, and it varies significantly from country to country. This uncertainty can be a major barrier for businesses looking to adopt blockchain technology. In the US alone, different agencies have conflicting views on how to classify and regulate cryptocurrencies.
That must make it difficult for companies to navigate. Are there any countries that are taking a more proactive approach to blockchain regulation?
Well, some countries are positioning themselves as blockchain-friendly jurisdictions. Switzerland, for example, has established clear guidelines for cryptocurrency businesses and even accepts Bitcoin for tax payments in some cantons. On the other hand, China has taken a much more restrictive approach, banning cryptocurrency trading and mining.
Interesting. So given all these challenges, where do you see blockchain having the biggest impact in the near future?
I think we'll continue to see the most traction in areas where blockchain's key features, transparency, immutability, and decentralization, offer clear advantages. Digital identity management is one area with huge potential. For instance, the World Food Programme's Building Blocks project uses blockchain to manage aid distribution, reducing fees and increasing transparency.
That's a great example of blockchain being used for social good. Are there any other promising applications in that vein?
Definitely. Voting systems are another area where blockchain could have a significant impact. Sierra Leone piloted a blockchain-based voting system in 2018, becoming the first country to do so in a national election. While it was just a pilot, it demonstrates the potential for increasing transparency and reducing fraud in elections.
That's fascinating. But I can't help but wonder, with all these challenges and the slow pace of adoption, could blockchain end up being more hype than substance?
That's a fair question. There's no doubt that blockchain has been overhyped in some ways. The technology isn't a magic solution for every problem, and many proposed use cases don't actually require a blockchain. However, I think it's important to remember that we're still in the early stages of this technology.
Right. Well, that's what they always say about new tech, isn't it?
True, but let's consider a historical parallel. The internet faced similar skepticism and technical challenges in its early days. In 1995, Clifford Stoll wrote in Newsweek, "The truth is no online database will replace your daily newspaper." We know how that prediction turned out.
Oh, that's a good point. So you think blockchain could have a similar trajectory?
It's possible. Like the internet, blockchain has the potential to fundamentally change how we handle and transfer value, but it will take time to overcome the technical, regulatory, and adoption challenges. The key is to focus on use cases where blockchain truly adds value, rather than trying to force it into every application.
So what should our listeners be watching for as indicators of blockchain's future success or failure?
Great question. I'd say keep an eye on a few key areas. First, watch for progress on scalability solutions. If we see major breakthroughs that allow blockchain networks to handle thousands of transactions per second, that could be a game changer. Second, pay attention to regulatory developments, especially in major economies like the US and EU. Clear, supportive regulations could pave the way for wider adoption.
And what about actual use cases? Any specific projects or companies to watch?
Absolutely. Look for blockchain applications that are solving real-world problems and gaining traction beyond the crypto community. The success of projects like the World Food Programme's building blocks or Walmart's supply chain tracking system are good indicators. Also, watch for adoption by major financial institutions and tech companies. If we see more moves like Facebook's Libra project, now Diem, that could signal growing mainstream acceptance.
Well, it certainly sounds like an exciting space to watch. Any final thoughts as we wrap up?
I think the key takeaway is that while blockchain faces significant challenges, its potential shouldn't be underestimated. It's a technology that could fundamentally change how we handle trust and transactions in the digital world. But like any transformative technology, it will take time to mature and find its most valuable applications.
That's a great summary. And for our listeners, whether you're a blockchain believer or a skeptic, it's clear this is a technology worth understanding and keeping an eye on.
Absolutely. As we close out, I'd encourage everyone to stay curious and keep learning about blockchain and other emerging technologies. The future is being built today, and understanding these innovations could give you valuable insights into where the world is heading.
Well said. And that's all for this episode of Unlocking the Upside. Until next time, keep exploring the ideas shaping our future.